We've been working for over a decade to try to improve infectious disease diagnostics. Our first product targeting patients with bloodstream infections, sepsis being the most severe infection, and of course we strive to help save life and also help strive to make antibiotic useful for future generations. When we designed Astar, our first product, really our goal has been to short time to actionable results for patients with severe infections. And one key element of that is making the system super easy to use for the operator. And for us, there are very few steps in using it, and you need very little hands-on time. It takes around 2 minutes from start to finish, and there are very simple steps. You also need very little training. It takes around 15 minutes for a person to learn how to use Astar. One key is to make sure that it fits in the workflow at the labs. Otherwise, a good product would be very difficult to use. We spend a lot of time in the lab in Europe and in the US as well, and really spend time with the operators in the lab. So we built the system to be seamlessly integrated in their current workflow. And also, since it takes only 2 minutes hands-on time, we could see some true benefits of that. We ran 2 of our clinical studies, or the preclinical and European studies, in the middle of the pandemic. And these are the labs that we ran all the COVID testing, meaning they had a lot of work to do. But it was very easy for them to integrate the Astar test. And also that was one of the strongest support we received from early customers or testers of the system, that it basically slots into the workflow and you can move on to do a lot of other tasks. So it saves a lot of time for the staff. So as you know, with a susceptibility test, which Astar provides, it always needs to be linked with the identity. What's the bacteria? Is it an E. coli, staphylococci, for instance? The way we designed our panel is to have a very broad coverage, and that truly enables you to start the AST test without knowing the ID. An ID test can take from 1 hour to 6 hours to have the answer, and of course, if you have a smaller panel, you might have to wait for the ID and then choose the appropriate panel. The Astar product really enables you to start it immediately as soon as you have a positive blood culture. And that is really the way we see it. You can start the analysis before, during, or even after, depending on when you have the results from the ID. And that is again to make it easy for the labs to use the test at any given time point. So it's very simple and very highly integrated with either mass spectrometry or molecular methods, which are the most commonly used in these labs today. In sepsis, time to actionable results is what really matters. So from you start an Astar till you have the results is 6 hours. So it's a very fast system. And those who follow you have seen that we published data early this year that we can actually indicate resistance in half that time. So that might be a future interesting upgrade to the panel to provide even faster results for some critical patients. When you look at reliability, of course, that's a key of any of these systems. And as you can see, our clinical study for the European region, our CE mark, we had very strong results. Essential agreement, meaning that we show the same results at the reference, was over 94%, close to 95%. We had a very high reproducibility of over 99%. So the system performs extremely well. We're also anticipating to soon release the commercial evaluation that we performed during the summer, or actually performed by Thermo Fisher Scientific and supported by us. And those results were, let's say, even stronger. We have selected one of the biggest companies in the world, Thermo Fisher Scientific, as our partner. And we and them have a very strong belief in the ramp up and the need of this product. What that means is, of course, that we invest heavily in scale up of our consumables. We are capable to meet the demands that we have currently, and we have a clear plan to excel that demand going forward. Thermo Fisher is really one of the market leaders in this field. We have had a long relationship with them before we entered the agreement, and then of course we have been working very closely after signing. And now when we see the product is truly launched in Europe, we can really see the breadth and professionalism of that company, and it makes me feel very confident in that we have the right partner. And I really look forward on taking the next steps together with Thermo Fisher to see the adoption in Europe and then of course moving to the US. One thing that's very important now when we are in a commercial phase is always to keep update. And those of you that followed us remember that our contract, I would say, is unique in this world. It's a truly collaboration product. And that means that every customer that will receive an instrument and installed by Thermo Fisher is also open for us. So as soon as their customer base increase, our customer base increase. We have presented during the year some more information of our next product in development. This is what we believe is the next product to really cut time to provide actionable results for septic patients. And what is it then? Well, today you take a blood culture somewhere in the hospital or perhaps a smaller satellite hospital. This bottle is then sent to the central laboratory. During that time, which can take 10, 12, 14 hours, nothing happens with the sample. So now we have reduced the time with Astar to be much more faster with the susceptibility. The transportation becomes the longest leg. So what we built is basically a product that as soon as you have taken the sample at the patient, you put it into our portable culturing device, and then immediately it will start incubate, it will start read and determine growth in this bottle. So the entire workflow, the transportation time that we today waste for these patients are now use time. So instead of wasting time, you can use it for transportation. And what really warms my heart is that this product can also enable that we can provide equal care to everyone. We have presented very strong results if you compare it to the traditional cabinets. And really the next product we think that we as a company can bring to the market ourselves or with a partner. I'll keep you updated on that product, but so far we are really excited about it to see what could be the next step in our journey towards cutting down time for critically ill patients.